Hey, I'm Aspen.
And I'm Ubu.
And this is Movie Grits,
a movie podcast where we talk about everything except the movie we're watching.
And today, we're watching
The Pink Panther.
Okay, on with the show!
Alright, the movie starteth, noweth. Turn this down.
All the way down.
All the way. It's Statue of Liberty herself.
It's the Colombian Statue of Liberty.
You know, that one's better than the French one because it's not even green. It's an actual woman.
Yeah, because if you're green, you're not a real woman.
The reason the French one's green is because it's envious of how good the other one looks.
Oh, yeah, and because it's French, because oui.
It's him. It's the inspector, question mark? I thought the inspector looked different, but okay.
So,
bye.
I feel like, okay, the reason we're watching this is not necessarily because it's a bad movie, but because there's no Pink Panther in the movie.
I know, it's so frustrating. Like, when I was a kid, I knew there was a Pink Panther cartoon. I'd never seen it. And I thought this was going to be the movie version of the cartoon. I was like, okay, I'm ready to watch some Pink Panther. And you're right. There is no Pink Panther in this movie, and it's frustrating.
I will say, as far as like a adaptation of like a silly cartoon that you couldn't really do, like a serious version of it.
I mean, Pink Panther's just like kind of a Tom and Jerry cartoon, you know?
Yeah. And we all know the live action Tom and Jerry was so good.
It was. I loved it. I've definitely seen it.
The one with we're talking about the one that came out like a year ago, right? There wasn't another one?
There probably was.
Editor, cut that back out.
I think
I knew what I was talking about.
That guy looks like a mortician.
he looks like a corpse. I'm sorry, old man.
You know, I watched like a Wired video about like people asking a mortician questions, and I think that was the first time I'd seen a mortician who doesn't look like a corpse. Just look like a guy.
In all fairness, I don't think if you connect the positive to the negative and the negative to the positive, it would go really fast in reverse. I think it would just explode.
Well, that wouldn't be as funny as a fast old man
screaming really
that would
loud,
be gross.
Yeah, an exploded old man isn't as fun.
Yeah, you've got to have a sick sense of humor. Ha ha, he blew up. Ha. This is in France, by the way.
Ah, yes. Oui, oui, baguette.
The French equivalent of the running of the bulls right there.
Oh, it makes sense why we're talking about the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. That's why Colombian Pictures made this movie, because they're like, oh yes, we all kind of like them.
Yes.
And by them, I mean the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is an organization now.
You didn't know that inside is like an entire company?
An entire civilization.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the mole people live. Also, he said Medal of Honor. I played that.
I haven't.
Well, if you stuck around to eat pizza with us back at Fan Expo, then you could have.
Well, I'm sorry.
I actually won, I think, one of the rounds.
You think?
Yeah, we did two of them. I think Little Peggy won the first one, and I won the second one. Very, very handily. And that was probably the first time I've ever won a shooter, period.
It's Beyonce.
That's her. She's the lady who made the Lion King song.
Yep, that's all she's done. Mm-hmm.
She was the person who was too self-important to go to any of the interviews for the live-action Lion King.
Is that true?
Yes.
I didn't hear about that.
I mean, they didn't say like, well, we would be interviewing Beyonce, but she's too self-important. You know, of course they had to be like, what was it like working with Beyonce?
Oh, one, two, three.
4, 5, that's not how
6,
fast seconds go.
7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
I was trying to make up for missing
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But yeah, like every interview was like, what was it like working with Beyonce? And they'd be like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. Beyonce, just think of what you think working with Beyonce is like, and it's just like that, you know?
I can't.
Just like
I can't imagine.
The way I would imagine is you never actually meet her because she's like an Illuminati member.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Of course. She's not real.
Yeah, she's just a hologram. And so is her husband, whose name escapes me.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, I knew it was Jay something. It could have been Jay the jet plane for all I know.
J.K. Simmons.
Her husband, J.K. Simmons. Yeah, you know, this is gonna... should I say this?
I don't know.
So, you know how sometimes people look like other people? Oh, he did.
He did. Yes.
His name was Glue. I realized I saw an interview like relatively recently with Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
And in his older age, he kind of looks like J.K. Simmons.
Okay.
And I know that's really strange to say, what with the whole, you know, the elephant in the room. But
no, I can see it.
It's crazy to think, like, it just kind of dawned on me. That's never been a thing I thought about, you know, like I've thought of Eddie Murphy. But then I saw that interview and was like, it's kind of got like, he kind of looks the way J.K. Simmons did in Whiplash.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Eddie Murphy, J.K. Simmons. I spelled that so wrong. Yeah, I see it.
I don't remember the inspector in the movie, or in the shows looking like that. I thought he was like a white outline guy.
Whoa. Maybe they need to
Painful.
make one for the movie? I don't know. Which doesn't make any sense.
They need to make one?
They need to
make
make
an inspector?
Yeah, an inspector.
Yeah, maybe this is like the Steve Martin Inspector OC. This is his Inspector Sona.
I see.
Yeah, let me look up the way Inspector Clouseau or whatever looks in the cartoons, because I could have sworn he was just like a white outline man. Like, he looked more like, whatchamacallit, like the Hawaiian Punch kid than a bellhop or whatever.
Yeah, because, like, believe it or not, the show's about the Pink Panther.
Yeah, somehow. Inspector Clouseau just kind of looks like Inspector Gadget in live action. They should have gotten whoever that guy was. Let's see. Pink.
Yes.
Panther.
Oh, no,
Inspector.
There's an actual inspector.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't look like that guy. But he's not the white outline man like I thought he was. Did he look like that at some point? I feel like
there is a version that is a white outline.
Yeah. I see him.
I see that.
Yeah, I see him. I'm looking at, like, mug shots of Pink Panther, Inspector Guy, White Inspector Guy, and then, like, an ant and an aardvark.
Yeah, I saw that. I just decided
and I don't know them. I don't know who those people are. Yeah, when I was homeschooled, I would watch Pink Panther instead of doing homework.
That sounds responsible.
When I wasn't playing Smash Brothers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's usually what I tell people. Instead of homework, I would play Smash Brothers. But sometimes I would watch Pink Panther.
I see. You have to keep your lore together.
My lore. This is just my life. But okay.
Yeah, but like you've told people that you play Smash instead of homework.
The IRL Ubu canon.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so cool. He looked like Chester Cheetah, but as a panther. He looks like the Chester Cheetah for, like, cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Yeah, that makes sense.
Pink Panther brand cotton candy.
Pink Panther brand cotton candy. I'd try it.
I would imagine it tastes just as much like sugar as normal cotton candy.
Maybe a little bit panthery.
Yeah, maybe it tastes more like fur.
Ew.
Like you're biting into a panther's fur, and it's sugary.
What does that taste like? Yeah, it's like a hairy texture, but it's candy.
Yeah, instead of candy floss, it's candy fur.
Ew-wee.
See, even his jaw dropped a little bit.
See, this is a good connection to
Look,
Scab.
there's the queen. Oh.
No,
we were on the same thought process, the same wavelength, because I just said there's the queen.
Talking about Scab, of course.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say in the second Pink Panther, it's what's his face from Monty Python that plays the
John Cleese.
Yeah, John Cleese.
If it wasn't him, I wouldn't know, because I don't remember anyone else's names from Monty Python.
I don't either, honestly.
He's got one of the shoe cars.
I wanted one of those so bad as a kid. I was like, Dad, please, can I have a smart car?
And they just said, all right, sweetie.
And they said,
you're going to have
no.
one right now. Yeah, they said, you are a child.
No, like, even when I was, like, not an adult, but old enough to drive, they're like, absolutely not. I was like, I would nail my parallel parking exam in this thing. Are you kidding me?
It's like half the size of a normal car. Like, they just took a big knife to a normal car, and that's my car.
Yeah.
So much more forgiving.
But they're like, if you crash this thing, you're dead. I'm like, no, look at this video where they made it super safe. And listen.
They tied a bunch of weights to the very bottom.
Yeah. So, naturally, of course, they got me the next best thing, a Honda Civic.
Yeah. The car I have, it's like a middle ground between a smart car and just like a normal car in size. Which means I'm kind of agile.
Oh, okay.
But if I got in a wreck, I wouldn't just like fly through the air.
That's good. That's kind of what you're shooting for with a car.
Well, because when I was younger, I saw a smart car and laughed and was like, I kind of want that. And my mom had the same reaction as your parents with like, oh my gosh, heck no, you're not gonna do that, you know?
Sorry, this scene always so stupid.
Yeah, that happens a little bit in these movies.
I know. I just forget how, like, aggressive these movies are.
Yeah, it just amps up out of nowhere.
It's
just like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Whoa!
Kids movie.
That's kind of how I was watching Shrek, too. I was like, wowza.
Yeah. I feel like with Shrek, it's not quite as bombastic, but at the same time, you kind of see it coming, especially if you understand, like, the whole concept of, like, they were trying to make fun of Disney. You know? Then it's like, okay, well, it's inherently more mean-spirited. Gotcha.
A little more raunchy.
Yeah, it exactly. But, ow.
I needed Mythbusters on that right now. Is that possible?
No, because Adam Savage died in the Daddy Long Leg episode.
What?
Just kidding.
What Daddy Long Leg episode?
That was another movie Grit's deep cut. Kiki or I know at least Splat, because Splat's like opinionated about everything just as much as I am.
Yeah.
She was like, no, Daddy Longlegs are like super poisonous. They just, it's not possible for them to bite you.
Oh,
and I was like, actually, it is possible for them to bite you. They just aren't as poisonous as everyone thinks. That's an old wives' tale. She was like, it's not an old wives' tale. And I was like, yes, it is. Mythbusters proved it. Unless Adam Savage died, and that was the series finale.
I see. Yes.
Yeah. I used to let Daddy Longlegs crawl all over me. Well, in my hand when I was a kid.
All over me. Fear Factor style?
Joe Rogan would ask me if I went to the beach that makes you old while spiders crawled on me.
The beach that makes you old. I think it's the rocks.
Makes you old.
What rocks? What are you talking about? How'd it go? I got old.
I got old.
It's so funny.
It's really eerie how spot on those AI are, though.
I know. Say what you want about AI, but OMG, it's so funny. Like, yeah, they're stealing artists' jobs, but if you have Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro talking to each other in a fake conversation, that's not stealing anyone's job right there. That's just art, okay? That is perfect content. No one's getting hurt with that.
Yeah, like, I think, so my stance on AI, if your stance is I'm looking forward to putting people out of a job, you kind of suck. But there are applications, you know, where you can. And sometimes it is just as not practical as what a fun thing to do, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just for a meme. You know, if someone intentionally generates a picture of like a human being and they've got like 7 fingers on one hand and 4 fingers on another and like a third eyeball under their ear, then you know, and it's literally just as a meme, funny, you know.
Yeah.
But if you do that and you're like, yeah, this is gonna put people out of a job, like I have an idea for a project I want to do, and it would involve like pictures of a town that doesn't exist, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
I'm not particularly good. I don't have alternate universe photography abilities.
Yeah.
So maybe if an AI could generate the kind of building I'm envisioning and make it look somewhat realistic, then cool. You know, that makes my job easier. But I also know that there are ways to make a building look like a building it's not, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, this is just like very specific to me. This is like a project I've been thinking of doing. I'm sure there are other applications. I think it could be very handy for certain things, but if you're literally just like, paint a picture for me, what would you like? Make it look like a Picasso painting, but like it's fan art of Animal Crossing where Isabelle went to Doom, but make sure it's like early era Picasso, you know?
Yeah, before he got all sad.
Make sure it's a happy Picasso Animal Crossing Doom crossover fan art.
Yeah. Thing...
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, my thing is AI art and stuff and all this like technology and AI in general, it's bound to happen. That's just how technology is. And that's just how humans invent stuff, you know. It's going to happen. You can't prevent it from happening. However, with AI art and just AI anything, I feel like, kind of like how books, like real physical books, people cherish more than like digital books. I feel like that will happen with like real artists. Like, oh, look, that's a really cool painting. Yeah, I got it from a real artist. And be like, ooh, that's like so fancy, because everyone can just, you know, AI produce anything now, but you got a real artist to do it. I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen.
And I also want everyone to take into consideration with this discussion that it's happening online.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who, you know, like I have a job with like normal people who work there. I go to church. They're all normal people. A lot of the things that we have heated debates about aren't even like a blip on the radar of just like normal society.
Yeah.
Like a digital artist might think their world is ending because AI can make a 6-fingered human, but a lot of people in the world are still impressed by digital art, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's still the new thing to them. And I think even if like the lowest common denominator, you know, just like Funko Pop buying, Disney watching rando, still have like a glimpse of morality in them to like be like, oh, so this would like replace jobs. You know, it's like one thing, you know, like back in the Wild West when it was like, thank heavens for the soda stirring boy who takes the syrup and the water and mixes them together fast, you know, and then they replace that with a robot that just dispenses soda. Now we don't even think about how soda's made. Like with art, it's even someone who doesn't understand art understands a person has to draw it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like you can just dispense art like a soda.
Yeah, because it's like people are still like, I don't think with AI art specifically, people are going to lose that like sense of impressedness. I can't, my words are escaping me, but like when someone's like, oh, this painting, it's like hyper realistic and I painted it, people are still gonna be like, wow, that's super cool. But if you're like, oh, here's this hyper realistic painting that a robot did, everyone's gonna be like, okay.
Yeah,
of course it did.
Like just because a crypto bro isn't impressed by you like painting a realistic painting doesn't mean that like literally everyone else in the world wouldn't also.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean there's not people out there who would buy it from you, you know?
Yeah. Like, if anything, AI art will just be like a subgenre that's like more of a meme than an actual like genre of art, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not it's not like someone will actually print it out, you know? Like, could you please print out a large poster of this AI art so that I may frame it in a museum, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot more impressive to like put paint to canvas and make a mountain, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And if anything, the demand for real artists creating art might increase in terms of price because AI art is so easy to obtain. Getting real art is harder and it might increase the price. So, you know.
I will say, in a lot of ways, maybe I'm kind of an optimist, but I feel like there's kind of like the shifting point or turning point in society in general where I see a lot of people are either like anywhere from neutral to completely disillusioned with like the concept of like big businesses and stuff. Yeah. And I think those are like, if anyone in this world would like stop hiring artists for AI, it would be them.
Yeah.
And you know, this isn't like an anti-capitalist thing. I like making money. I don't want the government to take other people's money and give me a controlled amount of it, stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that kind of stuff, instead of just like getting discouraged by it, it's an opportunity for people to work on a smaller scale and just like more of an encouragement to ignore the big businesses everyone's tired of, you know?
Yeah, because they're gonna keep being big businesses and getting more chronically big businessed. And people will get more tired of it. Because like, there's a reason like Kindle versions of books are like $1, but there's people still buy real physical books because there's like, you know, I mean, personally, I think they're better. You know?
I mean, that's how I am with like, I mean, I'm that way with books, but also with video games, you know, there is definitely, and you know, with like, I like to own physical media in general. You know, subscription services are obviously a thing for movies and TV, and for video games, it's kind of encroaching as well. But I think the novelty of not having to get off the couch to put a game in your console or a movie in your Blu-ray player will wear off eventually. And kind of the same way of, you know, like the disillusionment to like the big business kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, here's just an example. Disney Plus doesn't have Buzz Lightyear's Star Command. I want to watch that movie and that show, but they won't let me because the ex-CEO of Pixar doesn't like it. But I do. Okay. So in that instance, I turn to physical media and forget about Disney Plus. Yeah. And I feel like as more and more stuff like that happens, more and more people will just like work on smaller scales or like turn it, like you said, things will progress, but as individuals and as a people, I guess, we can always make the decision to just not care about the progression, if that makes any sense. You know?
Or just choose to stay the same, because, like...
Exactly, yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say, the farting in the movie. Wiped my brain of the incredible point I was about to make. Wow, that was incredible how my brain is just empty now.
Funny because I didn't even hear the fart, but I understand what you're talking about. Okay, what?
Oh, I think I was going to say something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I remember. Humans are collectors. We like to collect things, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. Like physical things. Like my favorite movies I have on DVD. I paid the extra money to get a PS5 that has the disc drive so I can buy the discs, you know? Like, I don't know why. It's kind of like illogical, but it's like we just like collecting things, and some people don't. I feel like most people do though, so it's like
yeah, like I said, I do think there is a novelty that a lot of people enjoy of, dude, I don't even have to get off the couch to go play the game. Like, here's an example of me actually impressed by like that kind of progress. So yesterday I was buying a few games for stream, because I got my tax return. I can buy a few things. Heck yeah. I took a nap yesterday, and when I woke up, I looked at prices for a game I used to own, realized I made a massive mistake in selling it because it was a limited edition physical release.
Oof.
And yeah, I hated that so much that I did that. So I did the next best thing, which is to just buy it digitally.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this was a thing. I went to the Switch's website and I looked it up on the site, and it let me buy it from my phone. And then I like got out of bed and looked at my Switch, and the game was downloaded.
Oh,
you know?
Nice.
So, yeah, that kind of stuff is neat, but I don't want to have to depend on it. If I could have just bought the game like physically on eBay or something, I would have much preferred that.
Yeah.
But
because like, what if the internet goes down? You know, like obviously you download it to your device.
Well, if the internet goes down, I'm probably not buying it on eBay. But
yeah,
I get your point.
Because it's like, what if the power goes out and you can't watch Netflix? If you got a laptop and you got a DVD player, you can watch a movie still. Yeah,
exactly. Ooh, speaking of Netflix, that brings up an even better. I was trying to think of like a good point as to my disillusionment to subscription services. Netflix, one of the reasons you would get Netflix, you know, I would say the biggest one was The Office. I don't even think The Office is on Netflix anymore.
Here we go.
And then they announce Arrested Development's not going to be on it anymore.
Yep.
And it's like, then what do you have? Like,
what are you good for?
Like, I get there's some people that, you know, like Stranger Things, but like, what else do you have? I can't just buy somewhere else.
I will say, if I wasn't piggybacking off of my parents' Netflix account that I may or may not have to drive to their house to log into every 30 days now. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't own Netflix. But a big pull for me would be the British Bake Off. I can't live without it. It's so good. But other than that, yeah, I don't know what Netflix has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I flipped through Netflix the other day. My parents were out of town, and I was, you know, there just by myself. Thought, hey, I'll watch Netflix. I have that ability now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they had some stuff, but it's stuff I very easily feel like I could have gotten somewhere else. Like, I think I ended up watching The Bad Guys, I think it was. And I feel like that probably exists somewhere else. I could probably just buy it on a DVD or a Blu-ray, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not like it's exclusive to Netflix. And that's the kind of stuff that is going to impress me over something like, I understand, you know, we live in a society of member berries where it's like, oh my gosh, they got insert show I grew up with here. But I feel like the biggest draw is just like new stuff, I guess. Which is why like Arrested Development leaving is surprising, because they made the last 2 seasons of that show. You'd think they'd be able to lay some claim to it. Apparently not. There's just like so much of that big business politics going on, and a normal person who doesn't give a flip about any of that, who just like wants to come home from work and watch The Office, they're not going to put up with like, oh, I got to go buy an entirely new subscription service just because the show I want to watch is gone. Oh, okay.
Yes, I was taking a drink of water.
Okay.
Just awkward silence.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think the point I don't think what I was saying was that weird, but okay.
No. I was hydrating.
Gotcha.
Because I'm so mad that they're getting rid of Arrested Development.
Yeah, my face was turning so red and the steam was shooting out of my ears and I was dehydrating very quickly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, now it doesn't affect me, because I have Arrested Development, the 3 seasons that matter, on YouTube, but I've also got them on DVD. So even, you know, in the case of an emergency where Arrested Development leaves Netflix, I've got it on YouTube. And in the case of an emergency where it leaves YouTube, I got it on DVD.
I don't think they would take it from you if you paid for it. Like,
I mean, listen, if we want to get into technicality, people were paying for Netflix.
That's true.
I don't think you know, the big companies that are just in it for the money are going to care too much about, you know, oh, but they paid for it, you know.
That's true, yeah. They already got their money.
Yeah, they're like, heck yeah, they're like, we were paying for you to have it for a limited time. You just didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, while being able to buy a game from my phone while I'm laying in bed is neat, what you said about just having things, you know, you can lay claim to that thing. I feel like a lot more people are more impressed with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing people have done forever, you know? I mean, obviously, it's not like subscription services were a thing in, like, medieval times. But, I mean, either was the printing press, and then they created it, and then everyone was like, give me a book. I think maybe and this is going to be surprisingly deep for conversation about funny AI and funny subscription services, but maybe humanity at a certain point learned very early on what happens whenever people control the flow of information, and then whenever books existed. Yeah. People were like, give me some of them books.
Give me some of them books.
Yeah, give me some of them books.
I learned recently through a tweet that Baroque architecture, Baroque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Baroque, I think.
Queiuu.
E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-E-I-O. It was so intricate and complex because they wanted you to be distracted from the desire to read books, and I thought that was so funny.
They were made by the Illuminati.
Yeah.
They're like, crap, the commoners are reading books.
Not the books.
Get them to look at the weird architecture.
I'm glad that as a society, at least in America, and I think most first world countries are over the whole, this part always made me cringe, over the like whole books are evil.
Yeah, I mean, I think and I'm not going to get into this, but I think every once in a while it creeps back, but it's very situational.
Yeah, but there's no, like, whole country, like, coming together to burn a giant pile of books, you know? At least not in America. I'm sure in other countries they do.
I feel like it is important, even if you disagree with something, to understand why you disagree with it for yourself.
Yeah.
So I also like that we have the opportunity to read things that otherwise might be controversial, because, you know, like, that's a really good way to get people to like raise their eyebrow and be like, what's, you know, well, what's so book burnish? What makes it so important to burn that book, you know? Like, this happens so often in these movies.
He's killing so many cyclists. It's like the Mike Cabbages of this movie.
Oh, yeah. I really liked that stand just blew up when he ran into it.
It was good.
But anyway, what was I even saying?
We're talking about burning books.
Yeah, and how it's good that we don't do that.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4,
4, 5, 6,
7,
8,
8,
9,
10.
Ding.
I forgot that we literally have like Audacity up and I can count real seconds.
The audacity.
The audacity.
I'm never gonna not say that. But anyway, yeah, if people just go around and say, nope, that book's bad, can't read it. Yeah. Then that's a really good way to make people go, well, what's in it? You know?
No, literally, like, not to get into it, but like the Hogwarts game, like everyone's like, don't play it because it means you're evil. And then everyone's like, well, I gotta play it now.
Yeah, because, you know, there are people who are like, what it stands for, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but like, what's the game about?
Yeah.
Is it about Harry Potter? Because I read that once, and I don't remember it being bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like we could get into that, but we don't need to.
No, we don't need to. At least not on our podcast.
No, we can save that for Movie Grits After Dark. When all
dark.
Yeah. When all the people who will be mad. Never mind. Anyway. We can do a Q&A with them. That's what I was
there
anyway,
you go. Yeah.
That'll be February 31st, by the way.
Yeah. Tune in.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, we're recording this in February.
Oh, yeah.
So you probably missed it.
It already happened. Sorry.
Yeah, you missed it. Darn, it was really great.
But also, sorry if you hear me chewing. I'm still eating dinner.
How dare you?
I'm eating some mozzarella sticks.
But you say mustard?
Just eating some mustard. I just love to stick my finger in mustard and go. But yeah, the reason I brought that up, it's not even about necessarily controversial books. I know that that's the thing people jump to, but one thing I've been thinking about recently, I've seen a few times in the past couple of years, people will like talk about religion and they'll say that Jesus said an eye for an eye. Mm-hmm. And every time I see that, I roll my eyes. I roll my eye for an eye.
Oh.
Because that wasn't Jesus. That was Hammurabi. Jesus said, I want to say verbatim, he said, you have heard an eye for an eye, but I say turn the other cheek. You know, he's where that comes from. And it makes me think, like, if you don't believe in Christianity, like, you know, figure out for yourself why. Because some people on the internet, they just say things that's not true. And it's just like, this is very easy. Like, I think the reason it was so flabbergasting to me is because I learned in middle school about Hammurabi's code.
Yeah.
Or law, or what have you. The thing Hammurabi said.
Yeah.
And so every time I see that, I'm like, did you not go to middle school?
Did you not go to middle school?
It's not even being like well-versed in the Bible. Did you just not go to middle school? But yeah, it's like, it's nice to be able to have the ability to read the books that we don't agree with, though we don't disagree with. I guess that's nice too. But
yeah, and I wish more people would, like, I don't know, look into the things that they don't agree with, because then you can actually either, one, it might change your opinion, two, it might grow your opinion, you know?
Yeah.
Or 3 some other thing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's good.
Those two, I feel like those are probably the only 2 options. You're either going to continue believing what you did before, or your opinion will change.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, being exposed to an idea that is new to you doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be tainted by some corrupt worldview. It might literally just be like, oh yeah, this argument's garbage and I'm galvanized in my beliefs. It could very easily just be something like that.
I mean, honestly, every time I'm on Twitter, I'm getting my beliefs challenged, and I am growing my own beliefs every day on Twitter.
I'm glad you're growing as a person on Twitter. I feel like I roll my eyes more times than like any other point in my day when I'm on Twitter.
Well, it's just like no specific examples because I can't think of any, but someone will be like, by the way, did you know this, this, and this? And I'm like, I don't agree with that.
I see plenty of stuff that like, it's funny. Like, I'll see stuff I agree with. I'm just like, but do y'all gotta just talk about it all day?
Yeah,
that's the thing we disagree with is that like, there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Maybe every waking moment isn't the time.
And the place is definitely never Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is a good place for one-liners and announcing to people that you've like created content. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, that's what Twitter's for. It's like, hey guys, my dog threw up. Or like, you ever think about how the moon's shaped like a fingernail sometimes? Or
why is that?
Yeah. Or it's like, hey guys, I'm live. Those are like the 3 things. But if you're out to change hearts and minds on Twitter,
I know.
Twitter is built for like, what do they call it in like politics whenever someone says essentially a political one-liner and everyone like latches onto it, and like during all like the campaigns and on the news and stuff you hear that quote. It's like a something clip. I don't know. But
oh yeah, no, it's like on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. And maybe the audience is like screaming at the podcast right now, like, ooh, boo, I know what it is.
Put Twitter, it in the comments.
Yeah, when if you talk beliefs on Twitter, it's all of it is going to amount to the like shortened text equivalent of that thing.
Yeah.
Because
that's you're just going to end up mad, and everyone's going to end up mad. Those
are all the characters that you have on Twitter is enough for a one-liner. Yeah. So it's not going to be like, well, you see, this is the reason I believe this, and then the other person will go, oh, I see where you're coming from. Well, I believe this. And while it might seem that our beliefs aren't, simpatico, we can at least have a discussion civilly. It's actually going to be like, I bet you want to kill someone, murderer. Oh, I don't. You know something about killing something, you idiot. And then everyone, like the people who agree with person A go like. Yeah. And the person who agrees with person B goes like. And that's the conversation.
Yeah.
It's Jason Voorhees.
It's one thing, if you're going to learn anything from our conversation today, it's that you should learn that I completely forgot what I was going to say, and I feel like an idiot.
If there's one thing you should learn today, I don't remember, but I hope you learned it.
I gotta remember it now. I'm just like, what was I gonna
say? I don't know. I mean, we did jump from one topic to another.
No, it was about Twitter and people's beliefs on Twitter. Oh, well.
You're probably not going to change anyone's mind.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're not going to change anyone's mind. And, yep, that's what... I don't know. It was so good. It was my political one-liner.
You were so close to your something clip.
And then I started paying attention to the movie and my brain went blank again.
Yeah, while you were, like, struggling for a a something clip. I was watching Steve Martin eat a soup while everyone else is getting tranquilized.
Yeah, exactly. Just to prove that we are actually watching this movie, just not paying attention to it.
Yeah. Is it the second movie where he has trouble saying hamburger?
No, it's this one.
Oh, okay. Well, we have that to look forward to.
Oh, I remembered!
Okay, say it.
Oh, crap. Wait!
Third time's a charm, I suppose.
Wait! Am I having a stroke? What's going on today?
Instead of announcing it, just like write it down as fast as you can.
Okay. I have a sticky note. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be ready next time. I'm not even joking. If for those of you who think I'm faking this is real memory lapse happening live on Movie Grips. Grips!
I had movie grips.
By the time I remember, it's not even going to be relevant.
I mean, I guess you could just interject.
Yeah, it's fine.
That would be kind of funny. If I like have a really funny joke, really funny bit that I did, and you're just like, I remember! And I'm just like, oh, okay. Did you write it down?
Wait. Okay, here it is. People on Twitter, for the most part, can't handle the idea that someone else's opinion can also be correct.
There you go.
There it is. I don't know if I worded it well enough, but I was trying to get it out before I forgot it. Because I see so often that they're like, this is a fact. And I'm like, it's actually your opinion, and therefore it can be wrong, actually, depending on who's looking at it.
It's important to know the difference between the truth and an opinion.
Yeah.
And it's definitely important to know the truth, but it's also important to know when what you think is right might not be, the only perspective to take into consideration.
Yeah, like some people can't fathom that another person's opinion can like also be correct in that person's eyes, because they're like, no, this is true and this is how it is. I'm like, well, I don't believe that. And they're like, well, you're wrong then. It's like, no.
It's also important, at the very least, because, there are situations where, like, it's a matter of perspective. And then there are situations where, if we had, like, all wisdom, then we would understand one person's right, one person's wrong.
Yeah.
At the very least, you need to remember that the person who's wrong, they're probably coming at it from a genuine place, because not everyone who, like, disagrees with you is just like an absolute monster who just believes the wrong thing because they're evil. I would say not that many, like, there is evil in the world, but not that many people really, like, tap into it, Yeah. It's more that they're just kind of goobers, But yeah. It's funny that the Pink Panther of all movies kind of like, and talking about AI art.
Yeah, look at us go.
But, that guy and that bust in the background had the biggest shoulders.
Nice. Little Jack Horner over here.
What took you so long?
We have to watch that movie at this point.
I don't think it's movie grits, but
it has to be, because I'm so scared of Big Jack Horner.
What? Why are you scared? I think his proportions are funny.
It's because he's got the Kingpin vibes. Like,
He does.
I like him, and he's a Tumblr sexy man in my heart, but I'm scared of him.
Well, that's part of what makes him a Tumblr sexy man in your heart. I think very few Tumblr sexy men are just like normal people. They're all like, they got some angst, at the very least, if they aren't like a flat out antagonist of some sort.
Like Kingpin.
Yeah. I never want to hear Kingpin described as a Tumblr sexy man again. But in this instance, sure.
Aspen, if you ever say that again, we're never going to be friends.
If you say that one more time, this will be the Movie Grit series finale. I mean, he's built with like tiny head, large body, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like what?
That just reminds me what I said before we started recording that we need to talk about.
You think MODOK is a Tumblr sexy man?
I didn't say that, but now that you mention it.
I mean, Bill Cipher was in that contest. Literally a Dorito with an eyeball. I feel like if Bill Cipher is considered a Tumblr sexy man, what is it at this point? Do they just think everything is sexy?
Well, Kingpin and Big Jack Horner aren't, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess
they have some standards.
Wow.
Their standards might be skewed, but they have them.
Okay.
They get the hots for the Dorito with the top hat, but a guy, just like a dude, that's not sexy.
I'm pulling up a picture of MODOK right now, and this can't be real. I've seen this so
genuinely
many
think they
times.
did it because of how it's like a psyop, you know. At this point, like mega corporations like Disney are like governments, and they like have their propaganda and their psyops and stuff, you know. And I feel like they knew they couldn't do MODOK justice, so they didn't even try, just because they knew it would become a meme how weird he looks.
They didn't even try. Like, when he has his mask on, it looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have done so much better.
Yeah, it's like MCU movies are already just like a CG mess all around.
Yeah.
You didn't need like a live action face. You could have just made him a wrinkly monster with white eyes, like in the comics.
Yeah, and like put him in the shadows so you like don't really fully capture it, you know?
Do what they did when they first made him and make him a monster who happens to be really smart instead of just like a tin can that we laugh at because haha he have big head.
He looks like Humpty Dumpty from the first Puss in Boots movie. Yeah,
like what I was looking at, like the head-on picture. You know, I sent like the this is MODOK before and after he eats the Snickers, and he genuinely looks like he has the physique of Mike Wazowski.
Oh, he does.
And
that's no good.
That's not what MODOK looks like. MODOK is literally a human with a giant head. So he still has the proportions of a human, it's just that his head is so gargantuan that he needs like a weird chair to support it.
Yeah.
You know, he's not just a head monster. But that's what it looks like. His arms are like sticking out of his head.
Because like, he doesn't have a neck or a torso. It is just a head, but he has like, I would say somewhat proportional arms and legs. They're not these little stick things that stick out like he's a potato.
Are you talking about like normal MODOK or the movie MODOK?
Normal MODOK.
I also feel like it's in the other room because I moved it into like the new computer room with my cool bookshelf and stuff. But I have like an action figure of MODOK, and it like takes all of my favorite elements of like MODOK's design throughout the years, and it's like perfect in my opinion. I do have the box next to me, and a part of it is it's, you know, you can imagine like, okay, within the Doomsday chair, you know, this is where his torso would be, this is where his shoulders would be. What?
It's the Statue of Liberty, sorry.
It's Colombian
it's all coming together
in France.
But yes.
But yeah, like you can picture where all the parts of him are. It's not just like, he's not just a ball of head like he is an Ant-Man.
And they got the cheesiest looking dude. Like, come on.
I mean, to be fair, they changed his origin story to where Yellow Jacket from the first movie turned into MODOK. So they were just saddled up with the actor who played Yellow Jacket in the first movie. But still, they didn't need to do that.
They could have made him look better.
Yeah, I agree. What the thing that sucks is, people on the internet, they'll suck up to just about anything, and I've seen a lot of people be like, that's how he's supposed to look. MODOK, you can't do him in live action. And it's like, how many times have we tried? What are you talking about? This is the first time he's been in live action. They didn't even try.
Yeah. They gave him the Thor Love and Thunder CGI face treatment, and it's game over.
Did I send you the picture of him with the face from Love and Thunder?
I think so. If not, I can picture it perfectly in my mind.
I've just been spamming you with MODOK memes. You probably I don't even remember which ones I've sent you.
And the Joe Rogan Bean Shapiro AI.
Oh yeah. Bean Shapiro.
Bean Shapiro.
Bean!
I think that I am having a stroke. I can't speak. I can't think.
This is Moist Bug all over again.
Moist Bug? When did I say that?
on the Scab stream Friday.
What was I trying to say?
We were having a discussion about, like, if Looney Tunes characters were in a bug's life, which bug would they be? And
Moist Bug.
I think you were trying to say this character's like, I think you were saying Marvin the Martian is like the most bug-like Looney Tune, and you were just like, he's the moist bug, and we just busted out laughing like, what does that mean?
See, I can't even remember the own funny one-liners I say.
Now, to be fair, the reason I remembered that is because the next day I listened to the VOD at work, and yeah, I got to that part and I laughed, I cried, I'm just kidding.
Cried, peed my pants.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that was a classic stream. I'm really wondering how tomorrow is going to go.
Oh yeah.
The viewer will know because it will have probably been like a month at
or
least
two
by the time by the time they get to this episode. I think we got Camp Rock 1 and 2, our attempt at Food Boy.
We don't
Johnny
talk about
Bravo
that.
goes to Bollywood, so, and then Big Fat Liar. So in like, yeah, that's 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a good while.
Which also reminds me of all the ones I still need to edit together.
I know you did Camp Rock. I'm
guessing
you did Camp Rock 2, but I think that might be the last one.
Yeah, I need those.
You got 3 more. That's not that many.
It's
and
so
you got
many.
2 weeks to do them.
Nope, not happening.
I mean, and not even to do them, just like 2 weeks to do Food Boy, and then 3 weeks to do Johnny Bravo, and then 4 weeks to do Big Fat Liar. Is Big Fat Liar really the last movie we watched up to this point?
No, there had to have been another one.
I feel like there is, but I think I'm... Excuse me, I thought I had to burp. Wrong.
I threw up.
I mean, it probably sounded like I threw up to the viewer. I'm sorry. I was going to say wrong, but it didn't come out. And I just went... Yeah. Just gagged a little bit and was like, that was gross. Anyway, I meant to say wrong. I think just because, like, between Big Fat Liar recording, I want to say, I think we were going to record like that Tuesday, and then you got sick, and we moved it to like Sunday, and then we moved it to Tuesday, and then we moved it to today.
Yeah.
That's how
what
it
a
works.
crazy week I've had.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. It seems that you are.
Yeah.
Maybe you were just so sick and you're so delirious that before the stream, I think it was before the stream, you talked about the bizarre substance on your wall. Maybe you just like sneezed and threw up all over the wall and forgot.
That is possible, yeah.
Weird
substance on my wall. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. No context needed.
Yeah.
I was gonna check my downloads to see if we had watched anything else.
I'm putting my money on Big Fat Liar was the last thing.
I think it is too, but...
I think Friday we talked during the Scab Lab, about how we need to watch High School Musical 2 and 3.
Yes.
Maybe that implanted a thing in your head about like, oh yeah, we were like watch that maybe.
Yeah, the last audio clip I'm looking at is Blur, and I'm guessing that's Big Fat Liar.
You're like, you said blue in a funny voice.
Yeah.
Blur.
This is why I almost delete my Movie
Tyler
Grits
Perry.
audio every single time. They were stupid stuff.
Yeah. One thing I've learned is, just in case I'm like particularly delirious one day, I need to stop getting cutesy with the file names.
Yeah.
I think like all of them this season. Da-na-na. Anyway.
Yeah, because like I download a lot of stuff for the videos I'm editing, like memes and music and stuff, and I have to like go through my computer and clean it out every once in a while because it takes up so much space. And if I'm not careful and I didn't name them logical things, they get lost.
Yeah, I get that. I learned that the hard way in like OBS. I would like use a PNG for something and name it the stupidest thing. And then I'd leave it because I'd be like, oh, this is something that could apply later. And then I can't find it because I don't remember what I named it. Why would...
Yeah, like what?
Why? I mean, that's a funny visual, but why would like they hang the chandelier from a thread on the second floor?
A tiny little thread, yeah.
He cut it with like fingernail clippers, and the entire thing fell.
And mind you, the part that fell through was the end that was really thick. I don't know how that works, but okay.
I don't know. Maybe those were just strong fingernail scissors things.
This scene is so funny as an adult because I watched this movie as a kid and had no idea what was going on. It's so funny. Because it's so stupid.
I haven't seen this movie in a very long time.
Well, you're in for a treat? It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking up what is being put down right now, I think, but...
Which is like, what? I'll just... I have no words. It's just...
Dude, even if like I make my Twitch channel just entirely like new audio and like original music and stuff, I still need to have that.
There it is.
I see.
My miracle pill for middle-aged men. It's so funny.
Yeah, I think when I saw this, I thought he was just taking like, old man medication.
Yeah, I think that's like why they said it like that. So kids, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I always thought like the suggestive look was like him realizing that he needed to take his medication, like
it's just, oh, it's time for me to take my Claritin.
My Claritin. And then this happens. This is like a Lucille moment. Doesn't it feel like it?
A Lucille moment? Oh,
like,
yeah.
She would catch her wine on fire and burn her house down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was going to take her medication, drank it with alcohol because she thought it was a alcohol usage suggestion.
Yeah.
I love that part so much.
Wait, what is it again?
She like goes to a board meeting drunk.
Yeah.
And because she took her medicine, and it has like the warning not to take with alcohol. Yeah. But it's like she's, instead of a drowsy eye warning, she took it as a winky eye suggestion.
Oh yeah.
And then she goes, all right, I'll call for a cab. But it's after she's wrecked the car already. Yeah. And then she just runs into a pillar and goes, now who the heck?
the winky eye, and she winks at the bottle
And
back.
she winks at the little medicine capsule thing. Oh,
That show. It's too good for Netflix, actually.
Yeah, you know what, Netflix? You should have gotten rid of it sooner. All you did was give it a crappy season.
Yep. 2 seasons, actually.
Yeah, a crappy season, and I don't know how good or bad 5 is season.
Yeah.
I only know one person who's watched it. And he says it's good. I don't know if I believe him.
I don't know if I trust him.
Yeah, you only met him once, and it was to do Devil Horns with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta think of who we're gonna do Devil Horns with this year.
Oh, that's true.
I gotta do Devil Horns with the Punisher.
Yeah, we gotta figure out who all is gonna be there, because obviously if Mike Wazowski is there, and Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah, that's...
We have to get a, pimento sandwich and take a picture with him.
Get him to sign a pimento sandwich. Just flatten it and cut it in half and be like, could you sign both halves of this pimento sandwich?
Was he at the one last year, or was it just Gus?
It was just Gus.
Okay. I would be really upset if I missed that opportunity, not having watched Breaking Bad yet.
I'm upset I missed the opportunity with Gus. I hadn't even started the show yet, and I knew he was my favorite character.
Nah.
And I was still like, nope, I gotta spend like $100 on Brendan Fraser. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I have to fulfill a meme. Maybe he'll be back next year, or this year.
Yeah. Typically, to my knowledge, they kind of cycle through people. They aren't just like, yeah, like you're going to live at this convention for the rest of your life. It's like so maybe in like 2 years he'll be back. Maybe next year, but I'm not expecting this year. Yeah.
Well, we gotta go find him.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, just because he's not at this convention doesn't mean he's ceased to exist. But also, I do think in some instances they're cycling through certain like fandoms and stuff. Yeah. Last year it was Mandalorian and
Dexter,
Lord of the Rings
and Dexter.
Rings. Yeah, and
they had all of them. Yeah.
This year it's The Office and Daredevil, obviously.
Daredevil, and there's also one Harry Potter actor. I don't know if they're gonna get more. Mm-hmm. If they did, that'd be pretty cool. We could all dress up like wizards and post it on Twitter and get canceled.
I don't know if anyone in our group would want to do that.
That's fair.
Maybe Peggy's wife, because she grew up with Harry Potter. But
yeah, like I watched Harry Potter and I don't even care. I don't want to care about that.
I will dress up as myself like I did last year.
Yeah. Unless I think of something really clever, I'm probably going to go as a white American girl.
I mean, I could do the bit that I thought of where, like, I dress my leg up like Ubu and wear a green morph suit.
That's so weird.
Yeah, because then people would be... It's not like anyone there would know who Ubu is.
Yeah, they'd be like, that's weird. Anyway...
Honestly, I feel like if there's anyone accepting to your bizarre costume, no one more than a convention, you know?
Yeah.
That's where you go to dress weird.
Yeah, it's true.
And people stop you and congratulate you on your weird costume.
Yeah.
Maybe like one person in that entire convention center, other than our gaggle of people, obviously, would know Ubu and be like, wow, that's an interesting Ubu costume. And I would go, thanks. And I would go, what? And I go, you haven't seen my face because I'm in a morph suit. And then I would run away with like an Ubu strapped to my leg.
I can't imagine a man with an Ubu on his leg and a green suit would be hard to find, but...
Well, just because you can find me doesn't mean you know what I look like.
That's true, yeah.
Unless you pull my morph suit face thing off, in which case, wow, jerk
rude.
Move.
Yeah.
Yeah, rude. Yeah, there's so many people, because one of the Office people is Creed Bratton, who's like my favorite Office character.
Yeah.
But then Daredevil, Kingpin, Punisher, all going to be there. Hayden Christensen's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Barry Zuckerkorn is going to be there. Steve from Blue's Clues is going to be there.
Oh, yeah. It's so random.
And it's like, there's so many. Like, on it, like, they literally could stop there. And I'd be like, dude, I already have... I'm not going to be able to meet all of them. I'm not made of money, you know? But I gotta meet Kingpin and Punisher, at least. And if you're gonna do that, well, you know, he's the main character. I need to go meet Daredevil too, you know.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty dope to meet Steve. You know, I could be the 18 millionth person to tell him, dude, I grew up watching you. You were my childhood. He'd be like, yeah, I get that a lot.
You're so old.
Yeah, it's like I'm aware I was the star of a children's show for a good while. I'm guessing you were one of the children who watched me. I do think meeting Hayden Christensen would be pretty dope. I'm glad he's like circulating through fan stuff, because I feel like he was one of those. I know how kid Anakin like hates Star Wars now because of like how he got treated by people. I don't want that to happen to adult Anakin, you know? Even if, like, it wasn't the best performance, it was still Anakin Skywalker, so...
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think if anyone played that role, it was mostly the writing, so...
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't his fault. I mean, yeah, I can't put the blame on him. I can put on George Lucas, but even if George Lucas was there, I'd still be like, dude... You're freaking Mr. Star Wars.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh, you really ruined Anakin's character. I hate you, you know. I'd just be like, dude, I want a picture with George Lucas too, man. But yeah, with the Daredevil people, I don't think you've watched Daredevil. No. I know I have. Well, if you do watch it by the time we get to Fan Expo,
I think I'll have to.
Maybe, just maybe, you'll understand. Like, it is imperative. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't want to speak for you. You can object if you want. This year's meme photo will be with Kingpin.
Yes, it has to be. And I'm going to dress up as Kingpin.
You can be Into the Spider-Verse Kingpin.
Yes.
And I will be... I don't know, like comic Kingpin, and then he can be live action Kingpin.
There, we'll be the trifecta.
Yeah, we will be the trifecta. And then we can go take a picture with the Punisher as Kingpin.
Yes, this will be very good. Yeah. I think we've got it figured out, and it is recorded for all to hear.
Yeah, for people to keep us accountable.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the budget to get like a cartoon Kingpin cosplay. He wears like a fancy ascot and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like a white suit. I can't. I don't have the money for a white suit. Otherwise I'd have one already.
Yeah. I need to somehow figure out how to make my shoulders really tall. So that when I put a massive suit jacket on, my head will be in the middle of it.
You could construct, like, a fake hunchback out of cardboard.
Yeah.
And go to, like, a big and tall store and get a black suit.
A long, tan, and handsome store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Say Kingpin cosplay. Yeah, this guy.
You also need a bald cap.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You could be Kingpin and I could dress up as Vanessa.
It's perfect. This will be great. This will be perfect.
Yeah. I know we have these elaborate schemes. In all honesty, I'm going to go as myself and just take a picture with Vincent D'Onofrio. But
I might surprise you.
That would be interesting. Especially
never know
since she'll have to
until-
lug around that cosplay for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Just...
Oh, it was a woman who did it too. Oh, that's perfect. Here, look at this.
All right. It's obscured by your stream is still running on Discord, but I can see the bottom half. Oh yeah, they even got like the fake face. Wow. The little arms that don't even reach down.
Yeah, in this other picture, you can see like her actual legs, so you know it's a woman under there. It's so good. It's gonna be me.
Yeah, the reason you have this idea is because you've already constructed this cosplay, gone to a convention, and had people take pictures of it.
Yeah.
And this is what you're sending me.
And then this will be you.
I'll commit to the bit and shave my head.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it sure would. Dude, I don't have the money for a cane like that.
That's why you make one.
I don't know how to make a cane that shoots lasers.
Well, you better find out.
I guess I can just I know we have like one of those little laser gun things for Chalupa to flashlight the floor and she chases it. Mm-hmm. I can just put that in a cane.
Yeah, do that. That's good.
Yeah, and just blast it in people's eyes and blind them. Be like, gotcha! You've been kingpinned!
And then you run away.
Dude, it would have been so funny if so spoilers, in Netflix Daredevil, Kingpin doesn't have a laser cane. But it would be it would be really funny if I would say that Daredevil is the closest that I don't know if that show is considered canon to the MCU, but if it is, that's the closest to grounded superhero vigilantism that the MCU gets.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing closer is Punisher, because it's literally his superpower is he has guns and is willing to kill a lot of people. And there aren't any superheroes in that show. It's just people who shoot guns. But yeah, they, other than the fact that Daredevil has essentially super echolocation.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything else about that show is kind of sort of grounded. It would be really funny, all that being said, if in the middle of this gritty war over the fate of Hell's Kitchen that Kingpin whips out a laser cane. Just shoots him with a laser gun. That'd be pretty great.
That'd be incredible.
That'd be like The Incredibles.
That would be the ears on these costumes that they're wearing.
Oh yeah, they do got some ears. They got little Shrek ears.
It's so stupid.
They look like very decorative skinned humans.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
That's the morph suit I'll be wearing with my Ubu costume, so that people can chroma key me out of the picture.
Yeah, you just go as Jacques Clouseau in his curtain camouflage. Everyone will know who you're being.
Yeah, well, yeah, if I have the ears and I do this dance that he's doing.
Yes, I remember this scene used to make my dad laugh so hard. I was like, Dad, it's not that funny.
He starts to do the King Tut routine.
Yeah.
SNL.
It's just one of those young child being embarrassed of your father moments.
Oh my gosh, it's not that funny.
Yeah, exactly.
You're so embarrassing, Dad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
I think it's funny because the guy who plays Ponton is the guy who is in The Professionals, and he plays like a hitman, and it's a very serious movie. And seeing him do these like weird morph suit dancing is probably what made him laugh so much. But I didn't have the connection. I was just like, Dad, you're embarrassing me in front of our family because we're watching this at home.
Yeah, whenever you have like the straight man and the comedic dynamic do something goofy, and you can tell he doesn't want to, but he has to given the circumstances, it's always pretty fun.
What's this guy's name? Steve Buscemi? What?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, yeah.
Steve Buscemi is... You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Yes.
Imagine how much more interesting this movie would be if Steve Buscemi was
Jacques Clouseau.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm really having trouble pronouncing hamburger.
Yeah, and he's just got an American accent for no reason.
And one of his eyes is like going in another direction. It's funny because I don't think he actually has like a crazy eye like he does in Mr. Deeds, but because that was like the first movie I saw him in, I just assume he always has that.
Yeah.
Even though his character's literally named Crazy Eyes, that would be really cruel of them to just put him in a movie and be like, okay, who do I play? Yourself, Crazy Eyes. He's like, oh, that's all I ever get cast as. Except when I was Randall.
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. What about him?
I just want to look at his face.
Just look at his beautiful face. His
What a handsome
lazy
man.
eye.
I don't think he has a lazy eye, but like one eye is definitely more open than the other one.
One eye is slightly larger, so it's harder for him to shut the eyelid.
Yeah.
That's definitely it.
It's crazy looking.
Little fun fact, they kind of implemented that into his character in Monsters, Inc., where like one of his eyes doesn't shut all the way, and that's why Randall's always like really squinty-eyed.
I see. Yeah, because the mocap. Yeah. Back then.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't win some sort of an award from doing the mocap for Randall. You know, the slippery lizard man who slides through the air like an anti-gravity creature.
Think of Andy Serkis.
Imagine Steve Buscemi in a mocap suit just like squirming through the air like a worm.
Oh, man. That's disgusting.
You take Benedict Cumberbatch's performance as Smaug.
No!
And that ramped up to 11.
Don't bring him into this.
He pales in comparison to Steve Buscemi's.
Randall.
Yeah, his master class in mocap is Randall Boggs.
OMG, I can't. This is disgusting, the mental image I have.
I'm trying to picture like all those actors in mocap.
Well, you don't have to for Benedict.
Yeah, well, I meant not every actor in the world. I meant Monsters, Inc.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm trying to imagine every single actor in mocap, even for their live action roles. No, like Billy Crystal. Maybe he was like wearing a special mocap suit that only goes up to like the midsection, and it has like fake arms dangling off of it that also have the ping pong balls, and that's how he did Mike Wazowski.
Okay.
Only his legs and stomach were mocapped.
Yeah, and then they did whatever they did to make MODOK, and that's how Mike was out.
Honestly, they just took like the file of Mike Wazowski's mocap and just mapped Darren Cross onto it for MODOK and Ant-Man. They just like reused an asset basically, and that's how they made MODOK.
I believe it.
Yeah. Man, like, I'm not so big a like comic book fan that I'm like actually gonna flip a table or something. You know, I can just go into my other room and look at my MODOK action figure and be like, dang, that's a really cool looking figure. That's all I need in this world as far as MODOK goes. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to, like, tweet the flip out of it. But I'm also just like, it would be cool to just see him taken a little seriously. I know people think it's impossible because he's a giant head monster. But they did that back in the 60s, you know? He was like a tragic character. He didn't want a big head. He wanted to be a beautiful boy.
A real boy.
Yeah, he wanted to be a real boy. He used to be one, and then they turned him into a fake boy.
Yeah.
And so he's mad. You know?
Yeah. I think it's because he's kind of the joke, Mr. Electric. Because they have Kang as like the big bad guy now, and they can't have two big bad guys.
The thing is, like, when I think of what MODOK's role in like a universe would be, I could very easily see him as like a recurring character if they did it right. You know how, like, in all three Batman, like, Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan movies, even if he's not the main villain, Scarecrow is there still?
Yeah.
I feel like MODOK would be like that, because in the comics, he's a villain of Iron Man, he's a villain of Hulk, he's a villain of Captain America. He just fights with everybody. And sure, it's hard to take him seriously because he looks goofy. Or horrifying, depending on how you look at it. But he still heads up like a major terrorist organization in their world. And at the end of the day, is a villain of the Avengers. You know, the way that like Loki kept showing up. That's the kind of guy like MODOK is.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was violent. But yeah. But I don't think they did that.
Nah. Why would they do that? That would require effort.
Yeah, they would have to think of, like, well, how do we, like, shoehorn him into the next movie? And that's the thing, you don't even need to. It's not like, just because you're a villain doesn't mean that, like, every waking moment you're trying to take over the world. Sometimes you need to rebound from a failed plan, come up with a new one. Sometimes you need to sleep, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes you need to make pies.
Yeah, sometimes you need to make pie. That reminds me of another clip of Gilbert Gottfried from Celebrity Apprentice.
Okay.
They were working at a pie shop, and his job was to put Geraldo Rivera's face, like, just very cartoon, like, eyes and a mustache on pies with frosting. And someone said, "Hey, Gilbert, you're doing a good job." And he said, "Really?" And they went, "Yeah." And he just went, "That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me." And he said it really earnestly, but still in that voice.
Yeah.
And it was really, like, sad and hilarious at the same time. Just like, you're doing a good job drawing a cartoon face on those pies. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
It's, like, so sad.
Yeah, it was. He's not, like, the thing that made it the funniest is he, as earnestly as you can with that voice, he was just so genuine it sounded. Oh, man. Rest in power.
I like the massive weight that this, like, gurney has that everyone's like, no, I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to move out of the way.
Yeah, I feel like it might hurt a little bit, you know, if it, like, comes slamming into you, but it wouldn't keep going.
It had to have been accelerating. There's no way.
Is the movie over?
Yep, it's over.
Oh, okay. I don't feel like I watched a movie.
I don't think we did.
Hey, those are the best movie grits, honestly.
That's true. We did have a very good discussion about AI art.
1.5 hours of not watching this movie.
And
all right, let's see how many of these people I recognize.
A Beyonce song.
Zania. Yeah, she goes, "If you want to ring on it."
Yep.
That's ring on it. Ugh. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these people. I'm too important.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, definitely an 11 out of 10 movie. Probably my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 movie grits.
I really liked how the Pink Panther wasn't in it at all. At all. Other than like the little opening cartoon where he runs from Inspector Man.
Yeah.
I still can't get over it. Why did they do that? Like, I don't think anyone, maybe I'm just not in tune with like Pink Panther culture. I'm not a very Pink Panther core kind of guy. But I don't, whenever you hear a Pink Panther movie, what does anyone assume? Oh, there's going to be an inspector looking for a diamond.
Oh, well, I did because that was like my first impression of Pink Panther.
Was that he's a diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah, diamond in the rough. Amen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Amen. Goodbye.
All right. Y'all have a good week. I hope you enjoyed whatever we just watched. I forgot. Next week we'll watch something different.